Hey guys, I'm gonna start a series called The Long Drive. So in that series, I'm gonna be answering your guys' questions. I'm gonna be talking about the previous week's event, on tour, maybe what we do on a travel day, what it's like with Michaela and the dog in the RV, you know, doing all types of stuff. Episode 1 of that is gonna be in a few days. So in the comments down below, drop some comments of questions you'd like answered or whatever, and we're gonna do, you know, question and answer style stuff. Also, you know, maybe gas station snacks, what it's like with the dog in the car for 16 hours. So please comment down below what you'd like answered, and we're gonna answer it on the drive in a few days. All right, hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Vlogmas episode. Today I'm going to be teaching you guys a little bit about mental preparation and like physical preparation for a tournament. This course is, for me, relatively wide open and not that many challenges, but what I am saying to you is going to apply to your easy course or the hardest course you've ever played. One main thing that I think people get confused on when it comes to tournament prep is they think no matter what division they're playing and no matter what their skill level is, they need to get a par or a birdie on every single hole. Depending on the division you're playing and the people you're playing against, that's not actually the case. Even for us, there's certain holes on tour we play that you do not have to birdie in order to have a good round or have, you know, be in the lead or do anything like that. So I think that what happens is people start trying to birdie holes, you know, or even push par on holes that, you know, a par or per se a bogey, depending on your division, is actually fine. And then what happens when you push for that better score is, of course, you either maybe get that score, but most times you're going to end up getting a way worse score. And I do it myself still to this day. I'm like, oh, I can birdie this hole, and then before you know it, I'm like 4 over for the weekend on the hole. You know, then it's like, oh, 4 strokes if I just played for par. That's a big difference in the tournament. So it's a lot about just managing the course and shooting your game. So like this par 4 here we're about to play, there's OB to the left and OB to the right. Well, I really typically don't miss right, and I know that. So when I'm lining up on this hole, the right miss isn't in my mind. So now all I have to do is make sure I throw it down the fairway with a little bit of turn, and theoretically I should land in the little crevice on the other side in the fairway and have a nice easy putt. Well, toss for eagle, putt for birdie. But when you're playing a hole, make sure you're finding the zone. Hey, I'm trying to do something here that gives you the best chance to birdie. So, and that's obvious, but sometimes it's okay to throw a backhand on a hole that might curve a little bit right if you don't have a sidearm, and take the 25, 28 footer just going dead straight down the fairway instead of trying to curve it right. What happens is you're going to throw your more comfortable shot down there and get a putt more than you're going to throw an uncomfortable shot flexing through the trees to get over there to the right. Or if there's OB right, you don't want to risk it, because then you could be 25 feet right out of bounds and now you're putting for par. So I'm going to show you guys some of that on this hole here and some of this on this course, what I would do, and pros and cons of maybe one line over the other or one shot over the other. Let's check it out. That was a lot of talking. So as you can see there, I just forced over my overstable disc, knowing it's not ever going to go right. Flex down the middle of the fairway. Like I said, have that pretty easy little shot. But if you throw it a shorter distance, what I'd recommend, and I can show you, is a hole like this where the OB is pretty far left and the OB is closer on the right. I would just throw something high that kind of stalls, that's still going to dump you over in this left side of the fairway here. Then you'll have a relatively easy upshot. So I'm going to show you what that would look like. So just there in the middle, never was any danger of going right or left or anything. And then from there, you can throw literally that exact same shot and still get a birdie. So it's not always about how far down a hole you can go or how hard of a shot you can throw. If you can get around the course by throwing a much easier controlled shot and compete within your division, whatever that is, then that's the main goal. Let's get down there, down the fairway. Again, so here we are on the layup I threw, just in the fairway. You can see I'm not close to any danger here. Pretty easy upshot once again. If you can throw this shot, you can throw the next shot to make the birdie. Again, I'm just gonna kind of try to stall it up there, let it dump. The kind of fairway over there has a little bit of a crevice in it, so it's pretty good at retaining shots. And then also you want to think about where you want to putt from. So obviously the closer the better, period. But there's certain times where you could be 10 feet either side, and one side might have OB closer to it, or there might be a cliff. So you want to kind of keep in mind when you're throwing these up shots further away, where would I like to putt from? So for me, I'm not that scared of a downhill putt, especially this course is never really that windy. So kind of the putting situation for me isn't that big of a deal. So I definitely am going to kind of try to make this shot and end up left over there up on the hill. That way, if I make it, great. If I throw it a little short, I'm parked. And if I throw it a little too hard or too high, I'm just gonna hit the hill and stop. Gonna give me a pretty easy birdie putt. But overall, those are all things that you need to keep in mind when you're prepping for a tournament in this situation. So it wasn't the best run at making it there, but literally a tap-in putt. Can't ask for much more. Easy par 4 for both skill levels here. Mine's obviously way further up there on the big drive, but as you can see, unless I make eagle, I'm not getting any strokes on this player. All right, so here's my drive. I don't know, about 70-footer down the hill. But again, the point I'm making here is that there's certain holes where this was a lot more risky. You know, no matter what, this throwing it 200 and something feet further can go worse. I could slip on the tee, I can release it left, right, high, low. That other shot, obviously, like for me, I could do probably 100 times in a row. So it's all about the risk versus reward. Here, I would take the risk here because this is a pretty comfortable hole shape for me. And then I feel like, you know, I can usually typically put a good run on the putt, maybe make an eagle and maybe gain a stroke. But for the most part, there's no reason to try to come to this hole and rip your driver as hard as you can, or a hole like this, when a top level player like myself, I'm not gonna beat you by a stroke if you just go 270 feet, tap in your putt. Let's see if I can make eagle though. So just low there, but both shots yielded the same score. And so also when you're playing these tournaments, it's a mentality. You know, it's like I said, it's not about birding every hole, and it's about believing in yourself and your skill level. No matter where you're at in this game, you could shoot 19 over par or 18 under. You still have to manage the game and manage the sport. No matter what, I mean, you see Macbeth out there still grinding every single day. Ricky, Calvin, me, everyone, we're all still grinding, even though we're so good. You still have to get your way around the course, and you have to make the right decisions in order to score well. And that goes for every single skill level. So don't forget that all of us are doing this. It's not just a, hey, you're this good, or hey, you're this bad. It's throughout the whole entire sport. If you want to play a tournament or play a successful tag round or even beat your local buddies, and you have to take this into consideration and manage the course and use your brain to kind of get around the course. All right, guys, here's a hole, 270-ish feet. There's pretty much, in my eyes, two routes. There's the turnover or sidearm, or there's the hyzer, depending on what gap you want or what you're most comfortable with. The only thing you can't do on this hole is go long. So on this hole, obviously, to me, if I'm gonna throw turnover, I'm not gonna throw a mid-range because it's 270 feet. And if I get it just a little bit high, it's either gonna fade out and go long or just go long no matter what. And then if you're throwing sidearm, throw a faster disc so you can kind of play the skip. Land it 25 feet short. If it stops, you have a 25-footer. If it skips, you're parked. And then if you're going out around this outside here, don't throw something that has an opportunity to flip up, because the hole is so short and it's a little downhill. If you throw something high and hard that flips up, you're just gonna go in the street back there out of bounds. So really it's just about managing these holes. And I would say if you give yourself a putt on most holes, it's gonna help you score. So when you get to a hole like this, it's relatively easy, but it's also easy to mess up. I mean, if you guys have watched VLOGMAS, you've seen me bogey this hole or throw it out of bounds. So it's definitely not just a gimme just because it's a short hole. So make sure when you're coming to these holes, you're paying attention and taking stuff into consideration, and you're not choosing a disc or a throw that if you do mess up is going to double penalize you with a missed throw and an out of bounds. So right there, putter turnover, just up on top of the hill there, putting down 15 feet. Like I said, this course isn't one where I really think too much about where I want to putt from on the green. You know, certain places, you know, Jonesboro, when you're practicing, you're thinking, okay, what way is the wind going to be going in the tournament? I want to have a tailwind putt. So you start practicing to get on the tailwind side of the basket, or that's what I prefer. So on a shot like that, I'm just trying to get it down in that little bowl and get it close. And right there was a pretty good shot. Had a chance to maybe ace, but also caught the back of the hill, 15-footer for birdie. Now we're going to go the right side. So same thing there, never had a risk of going bad at all. Think of about 8 feet short right. Pretty much a perfect shot if you elect to go that way. I'm gonna try a sidearm here. No promises, but I'm gonna show you guys what maybe the sidearm route would look like if you're a sidearm dominant player on a hole like this. So a little inside there, but overall that's a really, really good shot because I never once took anything into play. I threw it a little low, but it's always gonna skip. You can see out here the grass is dead. So the mistake you don't wanna make is throwing it high and turned over. That's the only place you can't go on this hole. So throwing it low, a little inside, is not gonna ever kill you on a hole like this. Let's see if I could go down there and make the putts. As you can see here, backhand, sidearm, backhand turnover, they're all right here, nice clumper on the basket. The putter, like I said, is a little close to the out of bounds in the back, but I was kind of playing that shot to come into the hill, maybe give it a little ace run. All the rest of these never had any danger. When you're playing a tournament or you're prepping for a tournament, this is what you want to see. A grouping like this where they're all easily makeable putts for most of the time. And you know, you're not trying too hard, you're just kind of throwing a nice comfortable throw for yourself. That's all you can ask for. So let's see if we can make these putts real quick. So 3 birdies there. I've now shown you what I think is like the best method to practice and warm up and prepare for a tournament, especially if you don't know the course and you're not sure. Kind of look at the hole backwards as well. Oh wow, I didn't see this gap. Oh, you could go low here, skip off of this maybe. I just want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting Vlogmas, and thank you guys for supporting me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully this helps you at your next tournament. Hopefully this helps you with mindset a little bit. One main thing I'm gonna leave you guys with last is make sure to believe in yourself. When you're walking up to a putt, if you have struggle putting a little bit, maybe tell yourself, hey, this is the easiest putt I've had all day. Hey, you know, I make these all the time in the backyard. You know, don't go up to something thinking negative. Try to think positive thoughts, try to practice hard, and try to dial in these holes. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.